Hey everyone, it's Dr. Jamie with True Health Chiropractic and WellnessMinds.com. I want to thank you for being here with us tonight, and we're so grateful that you are. Tonight's topic on First Tuesday is going to be nutrition and weight loss. In January, this is usually one of our most popular topics because most people have a resolution that's going to involve something with learning how to eat better, getting back on track, losing some weight, starting a new workout program, whatever it might be. And so the information that we're going to bring you is going to be just loaded with details so that you can actually take action starting tonight and get on a better track in 2021. And so if you have questions as we go throughout, a lot of people typically do, you can drop them below in the comment section. We do our best to get to them as we go through the workshop. However, we continue to get notifications. So even if you're watching the replay and are not joining us right now, you can always ask questions in the future, and we will make sure that we get those answers to you to give you the information that you need. Please, too, share this workshop with other people. This is something that everybody needs. It's vital, especially when I share some statistics with you in a second, that people really understand what true health is and primarily how we can fuel the body and give it what it needs in order to lose weight, maintain our weight loss over the future, and make sure that we're really doing the right things with nutrition. And so as always, like I said, we're grateful and thankful that you're here, and our mission is to serve you. So please ask of us what you need, and we will make sure that we do our best to give you the answers and the action steps that you can take. We are excited. We're going to be kicking off a couple of programs in January, both through wellnessminds.com as well as in the clinic. And so we're going to be talking about those. I'm going to give you some details, and we're going to be launching those officially in the next few days to come. So I'm going to share my screen with you. We're going to get started with the workshop. And like I said, if you have questions, just go ahead and drop them below. So like I said, our topic tonight is starting 2021 on the right track towards health with nutrition and weight loss. Sadly, and what a lot of people maybe don't know is that 71% of the entire U.S. is actually overweight or obese. And the main concern too with this is that it actually then predisposes you to chronic diseases. 100 million Americans are actually already diabetic or pre-diabetic. But being overweight and obese actually doesn't just raise your risk for diabetes, it increases your risk greatly for things such as cancer, heart disease, Alzheimer's, dementia, even osteoporosis and arthritis in your joints is largely tied back to that you're carrying too much weight. And so this is why this is a topic we have to talk about because statistically what also happens in the last quarter of the year, primarily, especially in the United States, almost every gathering or holiday that we celebrate, it's really focused around food. And so statistically what they show is through the months of October, November, December, that the average person actually will gain anywhere from 15 to 20 pounds. And then a lot of people, like I said, have a resolution come January, I'll just wait till January and I'll start learning what to eat. And then you start joining on the bandwagon of whatever the new diet trend is or weight loss scheme. And they also show statistically that most people actually don't lose that weight that they gain. Yeah, they might lose 5, 10 pounds, but really what's happening is over the years, they're actually continuing to grow in size because they're actually not losing the weight that they continue to put on, especially in the last quarter of the year. So anytime that Dr. Granger and I talk about weight loss or we talk about nutrition, we do not talk about quick fix diet schemes. We're going to talk about realistic, sustainable things that you can do to get the results that you want long term and maintain them. And so we have to address some of the problems there are with nutrition and weight loss today. And the number one is that many of these programs tend to just focus on calorie restriction. The other is that they actually cause inflammation rather than truly addressing it. And the third problem that we're going to talk about today is that almost every diet, every weight loss program out there tells you to either eliminate fat completely or eat low fat. These are the three primary problems that we're going to give you solutions to, so that, like I said, you can actually not only lose weight, but truly be healthy in the long run and have a sustainable program that's going to work for you. So there's going to be 4 keys that we're going to talk about to weight loss and sustainable nutrition tonight. Problem number 1, let's go back and address that most diets focus on calorie restriction. Okay, this may work in the short term, but it's not sustainable. And hence, that's why a lot of people, they yo-yo diet, they feel deprived, and oftentimes diets actually cause the most intense cravings because how they actually alter your hormones, which is something we're going to talk about in a few minutes. So like I said, yeah, this a short-term quick fix. If you want to lose 5 pounds, literally just starve yourself and eat lower calories. But the problem is that it's not that simple. And what we don't want to do is yo-yo diet and cause intense cravings, because in the long run, that's going to set us up for failure. So the solution, if you understand that you can actually control your appetite, you can control your metabolism by understanding how your brain, your gut, and your fat cells communicate with one another through hormones. And the 2 primary hormones we're going to focus on tonight are ghrelin and leptin. And so what's interesting, you have these natural things in your body. I always find this fascinating, but this is kind of the simplest version of what these hormones do. Leptin decreases hunger and ghrelin increases hunger. So leptin primarily comes from your fat cells, and it actually tells your brain you're not hungry. Interestingly enough, and I'm going to share this on the next slide, is that you would think, right, if I'm technically overweight or obese and I have more fat tissue, if I have more fat cells, then I should have a ton of leptin and I should never be hungry. And they don't see this. What they actually see is that people wind up having these imbalances in these 2 hormones, primarily through calorie restriction, diets, inflammatory conditions, that the brain just stops listening to these things altogether. And the problem then too with ghrelin is it actually primarily comes from your stomach cells, and it tells your brain you are hungry. So it increases the hunger cues. So what they've actually found is that through dieting, and when I refer to dieting, I'm specifically more talking about calorie restriction. It actually causes an increase in ghrelin and often leads to overeating, intense cravings, and a yo-yo weight loss and gain. And honestly, most people that have dieted, they know this. They've experienced this. It's often too, I tell you, because even like drinking a diet soda, because there isn't the chemicals that are in the diet soda actually increase your cravings. So most people don't just drink one diet soda, they drink several throughout the day. At the end of the day, they're winding up drinking an entire 6-pack or an entire 2-liter, but thinking it's okay because there's no calories or no sugar. And most times when you see those people, they're still overweight or even obese, and they have chronic diseases. And so the problem with the calorie restriction is that it leads to resistance in these hormones when we talk about cellular health in a few minutes. Being overweight and obese, again, having too many fat cells, can lead to leptin resistance. And so what this means is that basically your brain no longer hears the signal that you're full. So you keep eating or you eat too much. This is why 2 of the main problems with most diets and nutrition plans is that they don't address cellular function and hormone health. Problem number two, most diets don't take into account cellular health and inflammation. And so what is cellular health? The purpose of a cell and a healthy cell is that it's going to allow nutrients to come in, waste to come out of your cell. And so a healthy cell actually has receptor sites around it, and it is actually covered with 2 layers of fat. This allows your cells to communicate with one another and have that transfer of nutrients and waste in and out of your cell. As you kind of go through the spectrum, when a cell becomes dysfunctional, there's actually damage being done to the receptor sites. And the receptor sites are basically where, if you think about it, where the chemical messengers, your hormones, they're hooking on to allow the communication between the cells to get perform the function that it needs to. or be able to communicate clearly. As this dysfunction continues to accelerate and the receptor sites become damaged, we then move into a diseased cell. And unfortunately, when a diseased cell, when the receptors become so damaged, the cell is actually inflamed. It's literally congested, just like when you have a head cold. So the cell is toxic. It's not able to get the nutrients in that it needs. And unfortunately, it's also not able to get the toxins out. And so when we eat certain foods, they do greatly increase our inflammation levels. And so first off, the solution to control inflammation and keep your cells healthy and functioning well, we got to choose the right nutrients, and then we also need to detox. And so number one, we've got to get rid of sugar. It is a huge inflammatory product, and this is even real sugar, like honey and cane sugar. Even those are real forms and they're real foods. They do greatly increase inflammation in the body. We've also got to get rid of the boxes and the packages. These foods are almost entirely chemically derived, man-made, with chemicals in them that make them taste good and make you want to eat them. And so it's also true when you look at these like 100-calorie packs and snack packs, you don't see them talking about eating broccoli and carrot sticks. It's always the cookies and the chips. Those things are loaded with chemicals that actually make you want to eat them. Same thing I said with the diet soda. Most people realize when they eat those things, they don't just eat one pack of the Wheat Thins. They literally wind up sometimes eating half the box or the whole box itself. Number three is we've got to actually choose better carbohydrates. So we don't talk about being no carb, but because your brain, that is a fuel source for the brain. It needs the energy, but we've got to choose the best and the right carbohydrates. So your carbohydrates should primarily be higher fiber, lower glycemic fruits and vegetables. Some examples are berries, strawberry, blueberry, Granny Smith apples, avocados, your leafy greens, and cauliflower. These are all loaded with antioxidants. They're loaded with fiber, which helps actually another hormone we're not going to talk about specifically, but when you have higher fiber foods, that actually does not cause a rise in your glucose, your blood sugar levels, which then doesn't trigger insulin. And insulin is a huge factor, obviously, with the imbalance with diabetes, and what can lead to future problems down the road. So these are some three things that are going to greatly help with the inflammatory issues. The last solution to this problem would be detoxification, because the majority of the toxins from our food, our environment, personal care products like your shampoos and your deodorants and the toothpaste that you're using are actually fat soluble. And what that means is they get absorbed and they get stuck in your fat cells. So remember the cellular health slide when I showed you, if your cells become congested, they no longer can get nutrients in the cell, and they also can't get the toxins out. And this is just a picture showing you just, taking something that, very easily, honestly, could be made healthy, but usually a cheeseburger is not healthy. And so looking at, from anything from the bun, you could have bad oils. It probably was, maybe coated if they toasted this bun with, nasty butter, and it's got gluten, and the bread's probably got high fructose corn syrup. You can't even find a, healthy pickle anymore. It's got yellow number 6 and blue number 7. You've got pesticides from the lettuce and the tomato. The little patty there is probably made anywhere from about 55 to 1,000 different cows that were pumped full of growth hormones. They're eating the same corn and crops that they're not designed to eat, that are loaded with pesticides. You've got parasites in the meat, everything else. So, not to, make this depressing that you can't have a cheeseburger ever again, but that's the point of what we're going to talk about, is you got to choose the right nutrients. You got to choose better ingredients. And the sad thing is that we are all toxic, because the average person consumes anywhere from 140 to 150 additives and chemicals each year. And we can eliminate a lot of this stuff by just choosing better foods. and better sources where we get our products. And those are always things, and especially things we're going to be talking about throughout the program coming up. So the solution with this is you got to choose your best sources of protein. At a bare minimum, you've got to choose organic. That means organic chicken. That means organic turkey. That means organic beef. You ideally, when it comes to your beef products, you want to choose 100% grass-fed. Cows are not designed to eat corn. They're fed corn in order to fatten them up, increase their weight quicker. So just like us as humans, if we eat a lot of that, we're going to gain weight. And like I showed you on the slide earlier, it leads to great levels of toxicity. When you eat fish, it needs to be wild caught, not farm raised. And when we choose eggs or even the chicken products, ideally they would be free range. So these are going to be our best sources of protein. Problem number 3 is that many diets focus on either telling you to completely eliminate fat or eat low fat. And the truth is that fat is vital. You have certain vitamins, A, D, E, and K, that you cannot even absorb if you don't have fat. They are fat-soluble vitamins. Also crucial is that there is such a thing as an essential fatty acid. There is no such thing as an essential carbohydrate. Okay, so essential fatty acids are things that we actually have to consume. We have to get them through the foods that we're eating because the body doesn't make them. Fatty acids are crucial to decrease inflammation, swelling, and with your antioxidants and these different factors to help really balance the body and create an internal environment that is healthy for you. The building block to all hormones is fat. This is also a key thing when we talk about cholesterol. And when people take cholesterol lowering medications, not only do they not manufacture vitamin D any longer or vitamin K, but they also begin to have major issues in other hormones like estrogen and testosterone. Leads to infertility. It leads to hormone imbalances, aches and pains, erectile dysfunction, because again, the building block to your hormones is fat. You've got to have it. And it is also the preferred fuel source for the brain. So in order for it to have energy to do work neurologically, the brain actually needs fat. The majority too of your nerve tissue is composed of fat. So at the end of the day, fat is vital. You do not need to eliminate fat. In fact, I'm going to actually tell you to eat more fat, but again, you've got to choose the right types. And so going back to the cellular health, remember I told you when you're looking at the far left and you're looking at a healthy cell, remember it's surrounded by 2 layers of fat. And the fat is crucial to allow for, again, the toxins to exit the cell, nutrients to come into the cell, and for hormones and other cell-to-cell communication to happen. As we eat a standard American diet, it leads to dysfunction in the receptor sites, because when you eat bad oils and you eat rancid fats, it actually begins to inflame and congest the cell. And so again, by cleaning this stuff up, choosing better things, our cells literally can function better. And that's got to be one of the basis of any program that you actually do. It should be a focus on removing inflammation and true cellular health and well-being. So the solution is to eat more healthy fats, as you can see in this picture. But some ideas, when we eat healthier fats, it's going to be things like olives and olive oil, free-range chicken eggs, grass-fed beef and products also have healthy fats in them. Nuts and seeds, primarily walnuts and almonds, are great. Avocados, your wild-caught salmon, again, all key nutrients. Coconut is loaded with fiber, and your coconut oil. These are some really good healthy fats that you need to incorporate, and these should be kind of your staples that you've got all the time in your pantry. And those are going to be some of the things that we're going to give you those strategies through some of the programs that we've got coming up. So the one program that we're launching this month is the New You Simple Weight Loss Program. It's a 21-day nutrition and weight loss program. We are going to be literally there to support you throughout the program entirely. It includes weekly guides, daily healthy habit suggestions, what to do in the morning, what to do midday, what to do in the evening before you begin to go to sleep. It's going to have weekly recipes, shopping list, meal guides. You'll also have access to a private Facebook group where I will be in the group live every week answering questions, but also then providing you private webinars and workshops to help keep you motivated and going into a lot more detail, some of the things we actually kind of went over today, choosing better foods. Also, too, when we're in the Facebook group, it's a really good way for you to just have the support system of other people that have some of the same struggles. They probably honestly have the exact same questions you do, too. But if you're not on Facebook, we don't want you to feel like you're going to be missing out or can't be a part of the program. Everything that we do, it will be recorded, and I will be adding that back into your portal. And that's the other really awesome thing about this program. You're going to have access to a client success portal where you're going to be able to download everything or just even view the materials very easily on an iPad, your phone, or even a computer. You can pull up your shopping list right there on your phone and go to the grocery store. So you don't have to download or print anything off, but the portal is going to make it so much easier for you to be able to access your information. This is a sustainable program too that you can come back to again and again. And that is the key, as that I said earlier, Dr. Granger and I never talk about quick fixes or fad diets. The reality is that those things do not work long term, and they can actually be more detrimental to your health. So we want to give you things that are sustainable, things that you can come back to, things that are based off of science and how the body actually works, because that's what's going to give you a lasting results. And so join us on Saturday, January 9th at 9 a.m. We'll be live again, both on Facebook and YouTube. And this will allow you to be able, I'm going to give all the details of the program, the sign-up information for the New You program as well, so that you can officially get your 2021 off to the right start. The program is 21 days, but like I said, it will set you up for a lifetime of success. So please join us on Saturday, like I said, where we'll give you the sign up and more information when we'll officially be launching that program and product. And so it's going to be where I'll give you all the details, even more information, answer more questions that you might have. The official start date is going to be on the 11th. But like I said, as we're going through the program, it's going to be just loaded with so much information to make sure that you are successful. That's the whole point. I want to thank you again for being here with us tonight. Continue to ask questions as you have them. We will answer them. And I wish you a blessed new year, and we look forward to seeing you joining the New You program and really getting your new year off on the right start.